Hello, good morning to everyone. I am back to share more from our galactic history, and I left off on part one on Melchizedek, and I'm going to start reading from there of the Melchizedek. One second, you guys. My glasses were on the floor. My house is still quiet. I'm letting my children sleep a little longer. So I just had to pick up my glasses off the floor. Look like we may get some rain this morning. Okay. Okay. So I left off on part one of the LYRAN galactic history. And just to do a short recap really quick for you all, we were going over the LYRAN, excuse me. Okay. I know what I did with my phone just now. Okay. We were going over the Lyrian Wars, and the Lyrian race were an advanced race that created the Elohim, the Avatar, in the Avatar Matrix. Also, the Lyrian Wars that spread it in the constellation when you hear about the explosion. And in this part two of the Melchizedek version or reading that I'm going to be sharing with you all this morning, it we left off on the opposing groups were a mixture of Melchizedek humanoids, reptilian races that promulgated to self-service. It says in the Antichrist method. So they had the mindset of the Antichrist, which is a level of consciousness. And it says these world wars controlled the constellations of the Dracos and Orion. The intergenetic genetic hatred generated from the Orion's group digressed into the violent killing and destruction of at the expense of others, which resulted in victimizer mind control on Earth. So these wars that happened, you know, thousands of years ago within the constellation are actually still in existence today. So I left off on Melchizedek, and that's where I'm going to pick up at from the part one of the video that I did. So to begin, it says Melchizedeks are the genetic hosting race of Earth's ascension cycle. For the last 35,000 years, they were to help the Earth heal and evolve out from the lower dimensions of the phantom matrix, which I'm going to touch bases on that, the phantom matrix. But I'm going to continue reading. It says they were to help the earth heal and evolve from the lower dimension of the phantom matrix, because we are coming to the close of the root race end cycle. Their tour without duty with earth is in this uh, is also ending or coming to completion. This allows a time to review and pause for genetic rehabilitation and intergravitable healing for the 12 tribes, which in the second video, the 12 tribes of essence, which hold the DNA of the God prodigal, um, that, how do you say, genealogy. So the 12 tribes, I'll briefly touch bases on that. The 12 tribes, um, the Emerald Founder records reveal that there are 12 essence tribes, the tribes which make up the entire collective human gene pool and are descendants of the Universal Tribal Shield that began originally incarnated into this planet from future timelines of Tara. Each of the 12 tribes are genetically key coded with their demographic planetary gates location and to the planetary dimensional sphere, and it is LYRAN network. When we incarnate into the planet, we have genetic time codes in our DNA related to the uh, planetary gates dimensional system. So within our DNA, we hold great power within our gene pool, which, um, as they mentioned, the 12 essence tribe that make up the Universal Tribal Shield. And also, just to give you a little bit about that, the original 12 essence tribes were seated on Earth as a part of evolution's plan that was the result of the covenant of Platador, excuse me, Plator, to rescue the lost souls of Tara, making it easier to reclaim the identities when the Stargate finally opened during the end of the Ascension cycle. So within the reading of the Melchizedek, it said that the Melchizedek are the genetic host and race of Earth ascension cycle. So when they say of Earth ascension cycle, that is in relation also to the 12 tribes of essence, which I just read to kind of tell you all in regards to the gene pool or the 12 tribes of essence that hold that specific gene pool that is the God prodigal. So Melchizedeks are the genetic host and race, the root race pretty much, of the Earth's ascension cycle for the last 35,000 years. They were here to help the Earth heal and evolve out of the lower dimensions of the Phantom Matrix, which I'm going to touch bases on the Phantom Matrix, but I want to continue on. I don't want to jump from this place to this place because it can be confusing, of the Phantom Matrix, because we are coming to a close of the root race and cycle, their tour of duty with Earth in this capacity. It is also ending or coming into completion. This allows a time to review, pause for genetic rehabilitation, enter gravity healing for 12 for the 12 tribes, which is the 12 tribes of essence. And I went over that, I believe, in the second video, which I'll touch bases back over that. It says, this is the promise that Melchizedek would not be forgotten, even if they were fallen. So you hear about the fallen angels, um, the Nephilim, the angels that fell. So it says, this is a promise that Melchizedek would not be forgotten, even if they were fallen and forgot who they really are. This is made possible with the alignment of the mother's heart quintessence to be rebirthed into the creative field is the mother arc. And we touch bases on the mother arc and her rehabilitation of the blue ray. So the blue ray, as far as in when they say would not be forgotten, even if they forgot who they were. When you talked about the reincarnation, when they say the mother's arc, meaning, the female species, which also they reference to the female species as Sophia. So it says this is the mother's arc, the rehabilitation of the blue ray and the symphonic body. So I'll touch bases back on the blue ray just for a brief second. And the blue ray represents, I went over this, the opium and that picture there. And then you have the law of one. But it says the first light of manifestation of the emerald order of the solar Rishka blue ray order, the Elohim in the opium, that direct support of the guardian founder race. And this lower harmonic universe are supporting GSF, which we went over GSF, which is I am God, I am sovereignty, I am free. That's what the GSF means. Liberation and continue to spiritual evolution of humanity towards ascension in the law of one. The Emerald Order Ophium, the Emerald Sun DNA is up to 48 strands of DNA. So I touched bases briefly about the diamond sun, the emerald sun, SUN DNA, and pretty much the mother's arc is a blue light. And the part two of the video, I mentioned to you all about I believe it was my first pregnancy with my oldest daughter when I went to find out I was pregnant, and one of the doctors that examined me before my specimen was taken, he when he looked in my womb, my canal of my womb, he saw a blue light, a blue ray. And there was a step in student doctor that he was teaching at that time, and he mentioned to him, he knew I was pregnant from that blue that he saw in my womb. So the mother arc represents the blue ray and the symphonic body. So I'm going to briefly go over what the symphonic body is. And when I pulled it up, it mentions diamond heart. Diamond heart refers to both of the crystal lotus heart in the light body, which I need to go over the light body with you all as well, but we'll do that at another day. Um, in the light body of an higher heart activated human or crystal heart. As we know, the mothers hold a significant importance into, you know giving this, special type of love that you only receive from your mother. And it says the diamond heart refers to both the crystal lotus heart in the light body of a higher heart activated human or crystal heart network, and acts as the central hub that direct the many tribe roots of the ener- energetic currents and frequency throughout the planetary grid network. And the planetary grid network is basically your DNA. Everything that our DNA is made up of, it's a planetary grid. Meaning, when the explosion happened, with uh, which we're going to get into that also. But when the explosion happened, it happened amongst a few planets. It destroyed a few planets, and one was planet Tara. The other was, it was two more planets that were affected by this explosion. And when that explosion took place, from the war that took place within our galactic constellation, star system, there were souls that were lost from those planets that was when it was struck, it they were stuck in the material plane, which is Earth. They call Earth the material plane. So moving right along, we are going over the mother arc right now. We touch bases on the blue ray, that blue light, which the mother, they call it a arc, the mother arc, which to me in reference to the incarnation, how we carry babies, and that is the incarnation or the reincarnation of those lost souls. So moving right along, I clicked on the, very briefly, the Cephalic body. So the diamond heart refers to both the crystal lotus heart and the light body of an higher hearted activation human, or the crystal heart network that acts as a central hub that direct many tributaries of the energetic current or frequency throughout the planetary grid. Main Many of the Earth's major cities across the globe have been purposely um, organized to build by the Masons to be centrally populated around the grid system of the Diamond Heart Network. It also says the Diamond Heart or Crystal Cluster network of crystal hearts in the Earth's grid has been either artificially programmed, dormant, or cut off since the negative alien invasion. It says that the crystal diamond heart bodies in the Earth's grid network use the immanent life giving and spiritual force into many layers of the human collective conscious field, giving energetic nourishment to all life forms, and that is the mother arc. It says collective conscious fields giving energetic nourishment to all life forms with increased energetic balance, coherence to health. During the ascension cycle, the guardian host mission is gradually support rehabilitation of the planetary grid network to conduct and transmit tri-wave fields. And as a result of running the Trinity waves, those central diamond heart hubs are systematically becoming more active or brought online. So our whole atmosphere, it's like a grid. I remember, I don't know if I had a dream about this, about um how the system had like the system, the cartoon The Simpsons, when this globe was um in one of the Simpsons cartoon shows, they had like this dome over their city that they lived in. And also, I want to say back in 2015, maybe 14, and could even be 16, there was like a grid of an eye over where I'm from, which is St. Petersburg, Florida, and everybody was able to witness this, and it sat there for at least maybe 2 hours, where you see like this huge eye, like there was no sky. It was broad daylight, and you can see like this huge eye, which is like a grid. And I even captured it. A lot of other people captured it, and we posted it on Facebook, just sharing what we were witnessing. Didn't understand it at all, of what we were seeing. And then for some reason, Facebook, or um, I said it was a glitch. We wasn't supposed to see that, but we did. And it was like a huge eye in the sky, like a huge eye. And I video cammed it. I was actually at work when this took place, and everybody, we were looking out the window. I was one of the ones that went outside to get a better view, so I captured it. But Facebook took it all down. And a few years back, one of my Facebook friends that posted this and took a video of it as well, I asked her if she still had it in her archives within, the Facebook, and she said they took it down. So we wasn't supposed to see that, and I don't know. It did happen. It did happen. But moving right along back to my reading, it says the diamond heart crystals are activated with human personal light bodies when during this um, nomadic initiation, the thymus complex activates and the inner spirit connects with the permanent seed atom. In the thymus gland, the planetary diamond heart are systematically being reprogrammed with Trinity wave coding to be able to transmit cosmic divine mother frequencies. So, as I mentioned in part one, about we'll go over that as well, but um, the voices that we hear, that are transmitted. When you hear people talking about they receive downloads, they do. You can receive downloads from the Christ, which is a consciousness of, the divine creator, and also the Antichrist. You can receive the Antichrist, which is a group of, which is also a consciousness. Um, to have a Christ or Antichrist consciousness. I went over in part one about the Christ and Antichrist, which can be either one of us, whatever level you think on. If you think on a spiritual, on a more spiritual side, you are Christ. You are Christ, or they call it crystal, which almost sounds like crystal. And the Antichrist is also a level of thinking. It's the way you think. The Luciferians, the NAA, the reptilians, the draconians, the kings of tyranny. It's a level of thinking to have that puts you in that category of one of the um, Christ or the Antichrist. So the diamond heart are systematically being reprogrammed and Trinity wave coding to be able to transmit cosmic divine mother frequencies back into the earth's core to circulate on that surface grid into the human bodies. So, as I mentioned in another one of my videos about the sun, how the sun transmit this certain type of energy, and we reflect from the sun, and the sun reflects off of our energy as well. The planetary circular system of the planetary grid network has accumulated massive amounts of dead energy in miasma. And it says that has been built up on its networks and eventually kills the crystal heart and the crystal seed existing within. So I spoke about how things that we are distracted by, the things that we are mind controlled by, or that, you are mind controlled by, they are killing your life from within. This dead energy structure damages or crushes the permanent seed atom. It creates a metatronic reversal. And I speak about this in a few of my videos about the world is in reverse. The people are in reverse. So Metatronic reversal, and when the heart is filled with dead energy, that's why you have to, as I did a message from Peter, um, Second Peter, um, one of the messages that I did, I shared a message from the Bible about um, circumcising your heart so the star can rise from within you. So more and more as I read and understand this side outside of the biblical sense, or what is written in the Bible, like I said, you really have to be like a master teacher, or have a person that has a great understanding, or just thrives for truth, to understand how to decode the Bible and what it's actually teaching, because you can get a lot out of it. So when I put these two together, it does make sense to me. Not all of the scriptures in the Bible, but most majority of the Bible is truth. So it said this dead energy structure damages or crushes the permanency atom. It creates a metatronic reversal. And when the heart is filled with dead energy, meaning you have heart in your heart chakra, you don't use your heart, you don't, first you have to love yourself. When you truly love yourself and not look for self love to be given from others, you have to love yourself first, understand what you are, who you are, how to love yourself first, and also yeah, to help you, love yourself. Self love is first, and then you can have love and know how to love others. When you appreciate who you are, what your makeup is, what your gene pool is made up of, and how we came into existence, and everything else to understand in regards to um, the permanent atom seed, or the reversal of the Metatronic when the heart is filled with dead energy. What is dead energy? That is the trauma of the soul, the trauma of your life story, whatever that may be, whatever heartache or hardships that you know, partooken in or experienced that made you harden your heart. It says it is called the Anubian black heart. We have learned the reversal. So it says the Metatronic reversal, and when the heart is filled with dead energy, it is called a Nubian black heart. A Nubian black heart. So it says a Nubian black heart. We have learned the reversal of life energy in the crystal and Sophia, which the crystal is the male, and um, it's the male, and Sophia represents masculine and feminine energy, pretty much. The crystal, which is Christ with the the OS at the end, and Sophia was collective in negative form bodies into the Baphomet or black magic grid networks, which are satanic natures. So I'm gonna go back over this as well, about the diamond heart. I remember to go back over that because there's a lot more to that. But I went there because it said that this, it says this is made possible. I'm back on Melchizedek. It says this is made possible with the alignment of the mother heart equence and the rebirth into the created field. This is the mother arc and her rehabilitation of the blue ray and the symphonic body. So the symphonic body is the diamond heart system. Melchizedek is actually the sound tone translation of vibrational patterns of the source family of the collective cosmic consciousness within our universal time matrix. All humans are directly descendants or descended from the pattern and are in truth a Melchizedek. So I reread that. It says Melchizedek is actually the sound tone translation of the vibrational patterns of the source family of the collective cosmic consciousness with our universal time matrix. All humans are directly descendant from this pattern. As I mentioned, we one sound, one nation, that terminology that we've heard, one sound, one nation, we were all created on a certain type of vibrational frequency or pattern. As it said, I'm going to reread that once more. Melchizedek is actually the sound tone translation of the verbal pattern of the source family of the collective cosmic consciousness with our universal time matrix. All humans are directly descendants of this pattern and are in truth a Melchizedek. When the Melchizedek digressed out of energetic balance and joined the Anunnaki resistant in wars, they became the fallen Melchizedeks. The fallen Melchizedeks. So it says that the Melchizedeks digressed out of energetic balance and joined the Anunnaki resistance and wars. They became the fallen Melchizedeks. The first primal order sound field of the universe creation in our time matrix is the blue ray, which is the mother arc, the or the emerald uh, the emerald ray. The tone translation and the blue ray level of our source field is Melchizedek. So it says the blue ray tone translation of the blue ray level of our source field is Melchizedek. The blue ray is a part of the third fold founder flame of GSF. Once again, that is I am God, I am sovereignty, I am free. That's what GSF is abbreviated from. The cosmic triad, which I went over that briefly in the part one of the LYRAN galactic history from part one of the first video I did. It says it was destroyed until Mother Ark was able to return to Earth, to the Earth's core, to reclaim the blue ray out of the fallen Melchizedek use. It says, as of 2009, our planet went beyond Melchizedek universal field to prepare for the return of the 13th gate pillar of the Mother Ark hubs. So let's find out about the Mother Ark hubs. The Mother Ark hubs. And I'm going to blow this up so you can see this picture. It gives a planetary grid network glossary, the Mother Ark hubs, the Ark portals. Those are Ark portals. And here's a picture, if you can see that. And it has in dark abbreviations MAH, 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 Session focus is Mother Art, Cosmic Mother of the 13th Gate, and the Ascending Arc Hub Gateway Network through the 13th Aqua Gate leads to the neutron window, the exit from the universe, and 0 point, the supporting at 0 point, supporting the arc gateway and the Tribeca field to merge with the bywave fields, healing destroyed electrons fields and recording 1212 spin point ether elements. So that is what I just read from the picture that it had from Ma and the purpose of that. I'll reread that. It says Session Focus Mother Art, Cosmic Mother, the 13th Gate, and the Ascending Art Hub Gateway Network through the 13th Aqua Gate leads to the neutron window. So the God particle, or the 13 tribes of essence, those 12 tribal, they call them 12 tribes of essence that have the DNA of the God particle, which is they talk about neutrons, and also electrons and protons. Electrons. It says once more, MAH is the session focus is Mother Art, Cosmic Mother, the 13th Gate, and the Ascending Art Gateway Hub Network through the 13th Aqua Gate leads to the neutron window to exit from the universe and the zero at in the 0 point, anchoring and supporting the arc gateway of the Tribeca fields to merge with the bywave fields, healing distorted electron fields and recoding 1212 spinning points ether elements. And it also under the mother arc, which is MAH, it also gives this photo right here. Read those to see what those are, those words next to it. Um, yeah, but I'll go on. It says abbreviation for MAH is MA. Is the Mother Arc Hub's planetary grid works. It says that the Earth core chakra is aquamarine and connects to the universal Mother Arc into the base of the 12D shield, 12 below the feet into the Earth's core. This is the real aqua ray activation of Mother Arc, which returns the blue ray to the mother. It says this is the real aqua ray activation of the Mother Arc, which returns the blue ray to the Mother Arc to connect with the threefold founder flame, which I went over that in the first video, the threefold founder flame. And I'll briefly discuss that. That's the picture from the first video that I showed you all about the threefold founder flame. It says they are three original primal order sound fields that make up the rays aspect of the entire universal creation in the universal time matrix. The solar Rishka are the first triad of light manifestation to make the universal trinity that are projected from the emerald order, the blue flame, gold order in the gold flame, and the violet flame from the God source field, the threefold founder flame or cosmic trinity. So I touched bases a little bit on that, about the cosmic flame and the threefold founder flame under the aqua blue ray, and reclaim our mother of God principle for the planet and humanity. We connect to the aqua blue ray of Mother Earth. It says it is through uniting with our mother principle, the mother arc, the 13th pillar, and the 13th aqua ray, that we are led into the ascended master fields of the rainbow rays and uh, into the aurora time to connect to the liquid light of pale aqua rays shining from the alkaline sun. It goes on to say that the 13th and 6th blue rays were previously under control of Melchizedek, hosting our planet. Since the Sumerian Egypt invasion, of the Mother Earth, the aqua blue rays was not into the Earth's core. Hence, the Earth has lost her Mother of God and her female Christ, the sophenic body principle. So it says that according to this, it says that the Mother Ark, the aqua blue ray, was not in the Earth's core. Hence, the Earth has lost her Mother of God and female Christ, the sophonic body principle. So I want to briefly touch base on the Sumerian Egypt invasion. It says that the 13th and 6th blue ray was previously under control of Melchizedek, hosting of our planet. Since the Sumerian Egypt invasion, the Mother Ark, aqua blue ray, was not in the Earth's core. Hence, the Earth had lost her mother of God in female Christ, the Sophonic principle. So I want to touch bases briefly on the Sumerian Egypt invasion, very briefly. And it has this picture here. I'll try to blow it up. It has a picture here about, it doesn't have too much, but I'll see if you can see that, about this particular Sumerian Egypt invasion. I don't know about that. I'm just, learning. It says the final setback in the negative alien invasion. So it was the final setback in the negative alien invasion of the planet Earth. This is the point in our current historical record where the human DNA was unplugged and all galactic war memories and true origins were erased from our memories by the NAA races. So the NAA races make up the Orion's group, the Draconians, the Reptilians, the Kings of Tyranny, and so on, which we'll go more into that. I'll go more into that with you all as well. But I wanted to know about the Subterranean Egypt invasion. And it says 5,500 years ago, ripped 5D, it was a rip in the 5D wormhole into the It's kind of blurry, but try to blow it up. The wormhole into Egypt rewrote the human history from 5,500 years at the time of the invasion, with earliest written records of the um, Summer Sumerian tablets. It says it promoted the Anunnaki as creator gods of humanity. So they are not, the Anunnaki are not. It says it promoted when this wormhole took place. Let me reread this. It says 5,500 years ago, a rip into in the 5D, which is the fifth dimension, wormhole into Egypt. When this happened, um, this rewrote our human history of 5,500 years at the time of the invasion of the earliest written records of the Sumerian tablets. So this promoted or prompt the Anunnaki as creator gods of humanity and the enslavement agenda for Earth's humans. Final setback: no communication with the Christ, which is the Christ with the OS at the end, with the crystal race, with genetic manipulation installed in frequency fences. So they put up a fence. Like I said, this is all, like a grid. The Earth, the planet, it connects off a grid. And now they want to further try in our generation to inject foreign objects within your body, and created this um pestilence, or just the mind manipulation to make you think there is a certain type of pestilence on the land, to take this device within your cells, within your body, to, as they say, connect you to the grid. So, from what I just read, it says the final setback: no communication with the Christ race, with the crystal race, and genetic manipulation installed frequency fences. So, a long time ago, when this war happened, they, which is the Anunnaki, um, the Draconians, the Reptilians, the Orion's group, you know, um, they 505 5,500 years ago, it was a rip, and that rip happened, and that was the invasion of the negative aliens that came to Earth to enslave, with this agenda to enslave the Earth's humans, and to block us from connecting with our true creator, which is the Christo, which is Christ with the OS at the end, race, with genetic manipulation installed and frequency fences. So they put a wall up also when they came here to block that. And I believe in our generation, that fence that they put up to block our communication, that's why you have so many people, um, not too many people, are able to tap into that, and speak about that, throughout social media. Certain people. Continue on to the Sumerian Egypt invasion. It says the final setback in the negative alien invasion of the planet Earth. This is the point in our current historic record where the human DNA was unplugged, and all galactic wars, memories, of our true origins were erased from our memories by the NAA races. So you hear Brother Rashid Jamal speak about him knowing who he is, what part he took place within this galactic war that happened, which there were 3 planets within this explosion that occurred, that happened. That explosion destroyed, and it trapped souls in the 5D dimension, which is the material plane, and the material plane is Earth, which is the physical material plane. It's Earth. And as I mentioned, the souls that were lost here on planet Earth, as well as the souls that agreed to come. I am one of the ones that agreed to come. As I used to say before I even came into this knowledge, I used to, even one of my first YouTube videos that I did, not the first one, but I said that I just got here. And just to go more in depth, last year, one of my nephew grandmothers was in a hospital, and I went to visit her at this particular hospital. And I hadn't been to this hospital. It's in my hometown, and I hadn't been there since, to this particular hospital, since the year 2006, because my mother, she died at this particular hospital. So my nephew grandmother goes there, and during the time it's at COVID, I took somebody else with me to see her as well. And when I went up there to see her, after the guests that I brought to visit her as well came with me, and she went up to visit her first. When I got up there on the floor, before I could enter the room, this nurse, of a Caucasian um, nurse, I don't know if she was, what, Irish or whatever you want to call it, but she was of pale skin. And when I tell you, this lady looked at me, she was like, her eyes got big, and she was like, "What are you doing here?" Now, mind you, it's still in visitation hours. So when I get up on the floor, like, her mouth dropped and her eyes got large and wide, and she looked at me and was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, she asked as if she know me, and I know I don't know her. As I mentioned in the first galactic history, the first video that I just posted, when I started this reading with you all about the LYRAN galactic history, um, she looked at me like she knew me, in that sense, while I was speaking about the Netflix series, The Travelers. Now, that was her soul speaking to my soul, which I am trying to figure out what 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 part of that, what, not from what she said. It was like that she knew me, but in my physical body, I'm like, I don't know her. For her to say, I could sense like she was like she knew me, or my spirit. As I mentioned, you know, the physical eye might not be able to see as far as the soul, but the soul knows. And the soul, the soul in our bodies, the physical body, we operate for the soul. So she knew my soul. She knew my soul. She was so surprised, and she was like, it was the tone that she used, it was the look that she gave me, her being surprised. Like, she was like, "What are you doing here?" Like, you know, in a sense, I had left and gone, and now I'm back. And she was able to see that. So if I could try to point it out to you that way. But as I mentioned one more time, it says that the final setback in the negative invasion of the planet Earth is the point of our current historic record, where human DNA was unplugged and all the galactic war memories of our true origins were erased from our memories by the NAA race. So when I brought up Rashad Jamal and also about this experience where I was visiting one of my nephew grandmothers in a hospital, and when I came, like I said, it was visiting hours. So it wasn't like she was telling me or saying that to me like visiting hours is over, because she could have just said visiting hours were over. She was so shocked and at a surprise manner. So whatever, whoever my soul is, which I'm trying to figure that out, and I say that in a few of my spiritual videos when I read from the Bible and shared some of my um, studying with you all from the Bible. I believe maybe my last video, the Deuteronomy section, I was like, I don't understand how important I am or how powerful I am. I know I am. I hold power. I've seen it happen, but I am trying to awaken my identity. You know, I'm trying to level up my consciousness and elevate on a level where they said that our memories from this galactic war and true origin of ourselves were erased from our memories by the NAA races. So that is coming back to me, and that's going to be the next that come back to me, as well as I shared with you all on the video that I did, the first video that I did, and I took it down because I said it was more personal for me. In this dream that I shared on that video, I remember having this particular dream. It was wild. It was like, wow, you know, the things that I was able to see and what took place. This powerful queen, she said she was a queen. Yes. Yeah. One of them came down. I put it back up. But and she told me I was a powerful queen. This well, she told me she was a powerful queen, and she also told me that I was a queen as well. No, you gotta eat. You just woke up. So yeah, our memory has been erased, and you know, if you don't believe in reincarnation, that is true. And I say this in a few of my other videos as well, that I don't want to be reincarnated again. If it's up to my own will, you know, I would rather, you know, go back to you know, where go back home to dwell and not return to the planet Earth. Not that I don't care about this planet, because I do. I see the beauty in everything, in everyone. Um, um, if that makes sense. But after a while, when you feel like you know this, the world is in reverse and you've been looped and looped and looped and looped, you know, repeating this same cycle. I don't want to repeat this same cycle. I don't want to, you know, I'm going to choose to stay back when I do return, whenever that time is. I'm going to choose to stay in the constellations. I'm not gonna come back if it's my will, and I'm just trying to figure out, you know, what that is. I know I am important and powerful, and I've seen my power. Other people in the physical plane on earth and people around me have seen it as well, you know, the power that I hold. And if it's up to me, I don't know. Yeah, if it's up to me speaking right now, yeah. So who knows? I just shared that bit with you all. But 5,500 years ago, the NAA group ripped a 5D wormhole in the Chakra, Egypt. They settled into the Samara and rewrote human history of 5,500 years ago at a time. of the Anunnaki and NAA group's invasion. We were told the earliest written records of our history and language is the Sumerian tablets. The Sumerian tablets. This began the promotion of false history. So this began the promotion of false history and false fatherhood, God religion, and the Jehovah Anunnaki are the creators of God, of gods of humanity. So it says that the Anunnaki are the creators of gods of humanity. The fallen Melchizedek and Draconian base Roman Catholics promoted the distortion into the alien religion. So they call it a alien religion. They destroy. It says the fallen Melchizedeks and the Draconian based Roman Catholics promote the distortion into the alien religions that promoted religious violence. So when you hear about the Christianity or Christo, which is Christ with the SO at the end, you know, everything that we've been back and forth with debating about the Bible this and the Bible truth this, we've all been lied to. We've all been mind manipulated, at on a great level of deception. And I'll read that one more time. I'm going to take it back from the top. We're going to read it from the top so we can get a greater understanding of what took place and everything else. So it says the final setback in the negative alien invasion of the planet Earth. This is the point of our current historical record where the human DNA was unplugged and all galactic war memories and our true origins were erased from our memories by the NAA races. 5,500 years ago, the NAA group ripped a 5D, while everyone that's speaking about this 5D shift from 3D to 5D. It says 5,500 years ago, the NAA groups ripped a 5D, a fifth dimensional wormhole into Egypt. Or it says the Shakara, Egypt. They settled into the Sumeria and rewrote human history from 5,500 years ago at a time of the Anunnaki and the NAA group's invasion. We were told the earliest written records of our history and language is the Sumerian tablets. This began the promotion of history, false history, and false father God religion. What is I'm going to click on false father God religion. The false parent is the main victimizer that used to create pain and trauma into a child when the child is totally dependent on that adult. When abuse is suffered in a child, destructive attachments, the negative bonds form within that child that carry into adulthood. If you are not clear to free the body, mind, emotions, and spirits from the bondage of trauma introduced by parents or others when we were children. For the record, I had a beautiful childhood, and I know a lot of others may not have shared the same experiences in childhood. Um, but I was blessed to have a beautiful childhood, and I remember every moment of it. It says we must take responsibility to learn how to love others unconditionally, which is for you to learn how to love yourself, to be able to pass that love for yourself on to others. When we were children, we must take responsibility to learn how to love ourselves unconditionally, forgive, what has happened to us, this action dissolves the casualty and the consequential effects, as well as the later into entertainment entanglements that is in pain has created throughout the child's timeline, all the way into adulthood. Unhealed, it says unhealed childhood trauma and pain is commonly carried over into our adult intimate relationships, which is very true. Infecting them with pain. That's why in one of my videos that I said that we don't know how to love one another because you don't know how to forgive or forget your soul traumas, or your physical spirit traumas, that trauma that was caused by others, your parents, or people that were supposed to love us or to share this type of love, or that had this love and then turned dark, or that love turned dark. We don't know how to love the correct way. Infecting them with pain and leading into unhealthy destructive relationships. When we were able to unconditionally forgive the situation and love ourselves, as I mentioned, self-love, we learned that what happened to us as a child had nothing to do with our real self. We shift our thinking to reflecting upon the lesson we've learned and what strengths we have taken away from that experience. So every trauma, every trial and tribulation that I've been through, I used it as fuel to move forward and also to make me a better person, to become a better version of me. It says we must shift our concepts of the parent that exists on the internal to become the parent that exists in the internal self, and know that we are true spiritual parents ourselves. Our self worth is um, relative to how our biological family or adopted parents treat us as children. So, yes, and one of my songs that I did, the Family Ties song, where I said I had to back away from the now. That's people, places, persons, and things, and even back away from family relationships that I had, because it was dark, toxic energy involved, and I'm not for that. I don't operate on that dark side. So it's time for separation. I still love them. Um, you know, I still love them. I still have a love for them. I forgave them for all the things and situations that occurred to send this ripple negative effect through the family. But I have to pick up the pieces as well as you all for yourself to move on, to not cause any blocks, any mental blocks, so you can ascend and feel completed at that level of being fully conscious about everything. So a lot of people dwell on the past, they dwell on this, they bring their traumas into their relationships. And yeah, that's not the basis of the law of one. The law of one is unity, love, and peace within yourself first. That way you can spread it outside of you. So, and I clicked on false father. The false father, it says this being prompt of the false father and false father god religion, that the Jehovah Anunnaki are the creator gods of humanity. The fallen Melchizedeks and Draconian based Roman Catholic promote the distortion into alien religion to prompt religious violence. It says indoctrination into violent religions, domains, or the um, reincarnation cycle into the astral plane in the victimizer mind control and slave agenda for Earth's humans. So this is very deep, you guys. Um, this is the final setback. There is no further communication with extra dimensional Christos races with the genetic manipulation and installed frequency fences and unplug the human DNA and the planet net around the Earth. So there was a fence built up by the NAA group, which are the Draconians, um, the Orion's group, the Luciferians, the Reptilians, the Kings of Tyranny. They all make up that. They call them the Negative Alien Group and the NAA. So that was the it talked about the invasion. You have to go back for that particular part that I just went over, the Sumerian Egypt invasion, the final setback in the negative alien invasion of the planet Earth. So that's what I just went over. Now I'm back on Melchizedek. It says the 13th and 6th Blu-ray was previously under control of Melchizedek, hosting of our planet since the Sumerian Egypt invasion. That's what I just went over. The Sumerian Egypt invasion. The mother arc aqua Blu-ray was not in the Earth's core. Hence, the Earth has lost her mother of God, the female Christ, the Sophonic body principle. And I also went over the Sophonic body principle. It says the ascension cycle is about reclaiming the Christ, which is a mindset, a consciousness of a level of mindset, and the mother principle of the planet by building the architecture of the mother arc hubs, connecting to the aurora and alkaline sun, the building of the triad communication stations. Let's see what the triad communication stations. It gives me a picture of this. And this all is from within inside our bodies. As I mentioned, if we knew there's a man sitting there and those blue triangle like arrow pointing to the dome of his head, and then it has the body, also two bodies, one horizontal and one vertical. I don't know if you all can see that. Sorry if you can't see that picture. So this is the triad communication station, meaning, um, how we receive communication from the cosmos, those downloads that you hear people talking about, those downloads that, we're able to receive from the creator. So it says the macrocosmic structure of the universal tree of life, which we represent the tree of life. I'll click on that, the universal tree of life. Show you a picture of that. Hang on. Try to make it bigger so you can see it. And this is our body right there. The 12 tree grids, the universal 12 tree grids, the tree of life. And you hear, like I said, and they've changed the history, and it was done at the time of the Sumerian negative alien invasion. They changed everything. They twisted and changed everything. The 12 tree grid. It says the micro cosmic structure of the universal tree of life is the replica within the microcosmic structure of the personal tree of life. as the musical universal, the music of the spheres, which act as a harmonic structure that organize the spherical meaning rotation vibration of multi spectrums of frequencies. The music of the sphere incorporates with the metaphysical principle that mathematical relationship, expression qualities, tones of energy, those sound waves you hear people talking about gigahertz and everything else, and how we were created on a certain frequency, which is sound. Mathematical relationships express qualities or tone or energy that manifests in numbers, visual, angles, shapes, sounds that are connected within a pattern proton. It says proton. Thus, we may become attuned to see these patterns of movement as energy and action in the multidimensional realities. I hear people saying when you reach, they talk about 15 dimensions, but when you reach a certain type of consciousness, which there's more dimensions, or when you reach that state of the ascension process in full effect, there are more than 15. It's documented that there are 24 dimensions, and within those 24 dimensions, there are six dimensions within each level. And when you reach that full potential, you have the ability to travel through multi-dimensional at that level of consciousness, that higher consciousness level. There are 24 dimensions. Within those 24 dimensions, there are six dimensions within each one. So you will have the ability one day at that time of your ascension to travel through all those dimensions. And it spoke about those different dimensions having different, rules and regulations that you will have to abide by um, within those different, traveling dimensions. So it says that thus, we may become attuned to see patterns of movement as energy in action in the multi-dimension realities that are represented in our model of the universal time matrix, as these massive sensitive fields of co-creative collective consciousness that are journeying throughout time, space, and dimension. The individual human anatomy, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies manifest upon and within the multi-dimensional layers of vibrational frequency, as instructed by the core of manifestation body template. The tree of life, every aspect of universal creation and its life spiral are designed and instruct through these blueprint structures, which contain multiple arrangements and layers of vibrational spectrum of frequency. Learning to travel consciously through vibrational through the vibrational quality of the tree of life to travel through multi-dimensionals of time in the personal pathway to achieve spiritual sovereignty and the energetic freedom. This is referred to as the GSF. As I mentioned, that GSF means I am God. The S stands for I am sovereignty, and the F means I am free. So that was the universal tree of life, which I'll have to go and do a teaching on that, or readings, not a teaching, a reading on that, because there are more, it's more to that. But I don't want to get thrown off. We're right now focusing on the Melchizedek, which is the root race. So I stopped here on the reading. It says, since the Sumerian Egypt invasion, the aqua Blu-ray was a fragment Blu-ray used by Melchizedek and family of Michael forces. Also in 2009, Mother Art was um, reinitiated in the Earth's core of many Mother Ark hub gateways on the surface of the Earth to build links into the Aurora hosting and ultimately the alkaline sun. We now have access to our Mother of God, the holder of the founder of the Blu-ray and beyond in the cosmic ethering sound pillars that open the 13th gate into the neutron window, which connects us to the aurora and crystal star beyond the alkaline sun. So I want to click on the neutron window, and it doesn't have a picture, but I'll show you because I want to understand more about that. It says this year in 2009, practically important to most guardian perspective, as mentioned, that we are experiencing systematic energetic triangulations formed triads upon triads. And we talked about the third triads of intelligence during the first video of part one, which reveals our damaged, polarized, or reverse grid system. So the negative ones, they created this system to reverse everything. And whatever's taking place in regards to the awakening of ourselves, of our true selves, you finding out, who you really are. When people say, well, they try to feed us and say, well, if you knew what took place within our reincarnation periods throughout time and being on this 5D planet, which is the material plane 5D Earth, they say it would scare you to know. No, that was a mind manipulation or mind control process, so we would not channel a certain part of our inner self to awaken these abilities or the memories again that we once had, to know about what took place in our past lives. And that, as I mentioned, it says to rebuild our damaged polarized or reverse grid systems. These reversal employed our planetary um, Merkaba system interdimensional travel vehicle, which is um, your soul. Your soul is interdimensional travel, or this flesh suit as well, being a vehicle for the soul to dwell in or to serve whatever purpose, we're here to serve or wake up to. And broke apart the proton relationship balance ratio within the holographic reality. This proton is the female principal particle. This triad rebuilding is allowing us to stir up many more levels of our frequency bridge, extremely high vibration spectrums into the crystal star fields. They mention as new triads of the Trinity waves, changing the particle relationship between electron and proton back into balance and multiple densities, and are resulting in neutron fields. It says the triad communication station. So I'm going to pause right there and click on the triad communication station, which is what I just read. That picture right there, which is the communication station, which is your dome. Like you have, I'm not the only one to say this. We have voices that come to us, communications that come to us. And, sometimes the information that's given to us is negative and sometimes it's good. So you within yourself have to differentiate your voices. Those people that are trying to connect with you from the cosmos, from our who originated us, who made us, who created us from the negative alien, the NAA groups that also are able to feed and implant information into us. So the mind is very powerful, as I mentioned, and we all have good and evil thoughts, righteous thoughts and evil thoughts. So the triad The triad rebuilding is allowing us to stir up many more levels of the frequency bridge to extremely high vibrational spectrums into the crystal star fields. They mentioned this new triad of trinity waves changing the particle relationship between electron and proton back into the balance in multiple densities, and are resulting in neutron fields, which is the triad communication field. A neutron field is another way to say 0 point field. In this way, to balance and to harmonize our damaged hologram, to reflect the neutral intelligence field of the cosmic crystals consciousness. So let's click on the 0 point field. And this is a picture that they have of the 0 point field, almost the eye in the sky that I was explaining to you all. So the 0 point field, it says the 0 point God matrix field, the source of our gen- genesis, the central point of union within our universe, project itself into cosmic trinity, which act as threefold founder as the threefold founder flame. The 13D, 14D, and 15D, which is dimensions, ray, the mother art, father art, and Christed child, which I'm gonna touch bases on that at some point. As far as in the mother art, the father art, and the Christed child, I'll touch bases on that in another video. It says to create the prism. The prism. What is the prism? Your flesh suit. To create the prism, the mother and father art, and the Christed child. To create the prism of multi-dimensional life throughout the universe, time, and space field, the source of our 0 point field is the infinite, which is endless energy supply of our God creator that is contained within all living things. It says love is radiating strength and undefying forces spiral into the upward movement toward the central point of oneness. The 0 point, the force of love, naturally aligns itself back into unity with the 0 point field, the unified heart of the universe. The absence of love or hatred is the disintegrating, separative, or weak force. So if you don't know how to love, or if you don't have love within your heart, and you hold hatred, it says the absence of love or hatred. If you hate a certain group of people, if you hate, anything of God's creation, um, is a this disintegrating, separate, or weak force. So you are a weak force which observes light and energy away from the central point of oneness. The more balance of love and the more absence of living light, meaning you are a false light. When you become weak and hatred, darkens your heart, and there is no love within you, that you don't love yourself, you don't have love for others, you don't have a care for others, um, out of love. It says the more absence of love, the more absence of living light. You become a false light. You have drained, because of your thinking of the Antichrist consciousness, you have drained yourselves of your own living light. Meaning, in the Cain and Abel story, I said how God separated himself from Cain. He didn't kill him, but he separated himself. And now Cain is the father of the false light, the Canaanites, in reference to the Bible. It says, the more absence of love, the more absence of living light. As the result of darkness is manifested through the process of the fragmentation of into successive layers of density. So you are empty, you are a barren soul, or there's no soul within you, there's no light. And even, you it's a lot of people with false light. They give off false energy. They'll compliment you and then turn their nose at you at the same time. Barren souls, empty. The crystal star mentioned is to fully unify all creation with unity conscious vibration, the universal frequency of love and cosmic Christos intelligence, as we heal the internal separation by synthesizing the polarities of the the third D, which is the third dimensional, electromagnetism, magnet magnetism, into the 0 point of the neutral field. The 0 point of the neutral field is the heart of the God matrix, the electric core and source of all creation, the still point of wholeness. So there's a lot to the 0 point field, and I'll go over that in another video with you all. As I mentioned, while I'm reading over the Melchizedek reading, and that was reading from the neutron window. I wanted to know what the neutron window was. And a neutron field is another way to say 0 point field. So that information is very important, and I'll go over that with you all as well. It is the way to balance and harmonize our damaged holograms to reflect the neutral intelligent field of the cosmos crystal consciousness. As neutrons are being created, we are aligned ourselves back through the neutron window, the 0 point God matrix field, which is our 2012 timeline and beyond. Alignment merges us back into the core, the source of our galactic center. It says the neutron window is what creates the 13th Stargate portal. The 12 becomes one. And that process, which aligns us to Mother Arc, is to the Milky Way core, which is 8D, the eighth dimension, which phrase unlocked into the Admeridia core, which is the ninth dimension. This phase locking between the universal core opens a link between the seven lower heavens, the current station of our consciousness on earth, and the seven higher heavens of universal creation. So back on Melchizedek right now, and I went over a few things that was leading or had more explanation on the Sumerian Egypt invasion. The aqua Blu-ray was a fragment Blu-ray used by Melchizedek and family of Michael Forces. In 2009, the mother art was um, reinitiated initiative initiated in the Earth core and many Mother Art hub gates on the surface of Earth to build links to the Aurora hosting and ultimately the alkaline sun. We now have access. So at this point, from 2009 up until this point and so on, it says we now have access to our Mother of God. And when I went over the Sumerian Egypt invasion with the negative alien groups that came and destroyed and enslaved and twisted the religion, as it stated, they created a 5D dimension, a fifth dimension. Um, Within that fifth dimension, they build up fences around our um, communication frequencies that we could not connect with the mother, our mother God, our mother of God. So it says that the holder of the founder aqua blue ray and beyond this cosmic ether sound pillar that opens the 13th gate into the neutron window, which connects us to the aurora and crystal star and beyond the alkaline sun. And that was Mother Art Hubs, which was MAH. So back to Melchizedek. It says the first primal order sound fields of the universe creation in our time matrix is the blue ray. The tone translation of the blue ray level of the source field is Melchizedek. The blue ray is a part of the threefold founder flame and GSF cosmic triad. This it was distorted until Mother Earth was able to return to Earth, which 2009, the Mother Earth was able to return to Earth to open up our communications again, to reclaim the Blu-ray out of the fallen Melchizedek use. And as of 2009, went beyond the Melchizedek universal field to prepare for the return of the 13th gate pillar of Mother Ark hubs, which we just went over the Mother Ark hubs, are replacing the Melchizedek architects on Earth. So during the Sumerian Egypt invasion of the negative aliens, they build up fences around the Earth's grid to block certain communication. And they created a fifth dimension to do so, which is 5D. And it says in 2009, since 2009, our planet went beyond the Melchizedek universal field to prepare for the return of the 13th gate pillar of the Mother Ark hubs, which we just went over once again, are replacing the Melchizedek architects on planet. The planet changed architectural hosts and moved into the new root race cycle hosted by the aurora body and the families of the crystal star and the next universe in December 2012, the age of humanity. So since 2009, the Mother Ark returned and it began rebuilding and reshaping and undoing what has been done. It says these family of the Melchizedeks and several layers of trees existing from within the lineage, one of them being a type of cosmic crisis management team for the planetary system that are experiencing genetic digression or possible annihilation. Many of these beings are ultra terrestrial and exist in ascended state, meaning they are not informed. They are not informed. They are a light being. They have shape shifted, etc. The Melchizedeks are the genetic lineage of the builders of the creative structure of holographic projections. The architects, the architects, and now how to correct the structural issues of the creational system. When there is a breakdown of the system, i.e., a creation is digressed instead of evolving since the integrity has been compromised. The Melchizedeks go into the universal structure and attempt to heal, and we weave the genetic instruction set into our holographic bodies. So they call our bodies holograms, holographic bodies, uh, or it may be in reference to something else. It says of the celestial levels, the Merkaba field level. At every level, and this, and since, hold on, excuse me, it says in this sense, they are creator creator gods that work with the instructional fields of the hologram and have been interdimensional and will incarnate into the form body in order to support or assist bringing particular code with it as an embodied Melchizedek or a clone. One brings, it says one brings the file instruction into the planet from Melchizedek lineage when it is appropriated to do so, and the being is being trained enough to do so. This is so that the information can be relayed into planetary and creational field through the monograph genetic field. This consciousness instruction set plan when Melchizedek intelligence is woven throughout the species field, the key code throughout the genetic program. It allows the entire species to receive genetic code of intelligent beings directed throughout the conscious layer. So I am going to pause right there. As I said, I don't want to make it too long. I want you all to be able to go back through and you know re-listen to, or try to grasp onto everything so it sticks with you. I don't want you to be have too much information on one video where it's hard for you to remember, because this is all important information. Like I said, it helps us to know what's going on the planet. I said that in many of my past YouTube videos, what's going on. And now I'm coming into understanding of what's going on to our planet. So I stopped. Yes. Can we go outside? Let me 1 second. So yeah, I'm going to cut this video right now. I hope you all enjoyed the reading. I'll be back to share some more, but let's take all of this in and try to decipher and keep hold of much as you can, because it's very important for you to know what's going on with yourself, for you to reach that higher level of consciousness, um, of existence, and just have a better understanding of everything, of it all. So I'm not going to keep you out any longer. It's almost an hour and 45 minutes into this particular one. I don't want to make it too long, as I said. So I'm going to cut this live stream, and I'll be back to share the rest of Melchizedek. Um, there is more. There's a lot more. So bear with me, you guys, and hope you all have a blessed day.